Hi there. As I said weeks ago on this channel, Richard Arnold is a huge improvement on his predecessor Ed Woodward. The leaked audio of his chat down the pub with a group of United fans confirms everything I thought about our new CEO. Cynics may doubt his authenticity because they don't trust his bosses. But I do think he's a good man with good intentions, even if I don't agree with everything he says and represents. I do think he's genuinely believing he's doing his best to right the wrongs of incompetent owners. When Richard Arnold said how watching United last season was an effing nightmare, he was speaking like every United fan feels, embarrassed by what the current owners have done to our proud football club. We spent £1 billion on players. We have spent more than anyone in Europe, Arnold told the fans who turned up at his local pub. I'm not thrilled with where we are. It doesn't sit easy with me, and I worry how we get this sorted for the future. What's happened is we have effing burned through the cash, admitted Arnold. As a publicist, I do take my hat off to Richard Arnold for scoring a massive bullseye in getting fans on his side. At the very least, he's learned from the mistakes of his predecessor, Ed Woodward. And I give him huge credit for telling us in plain English just how he feels, how he's trying to fix the club, how he respects our fans, and how he recognises what a mess our football club is actually in because of the way it's been run under the current owners. You can't go to our training ground and say, show me where the £1 billion is, because we haven't spent money well historically. I'm not here to defend Joel. He must speak for himself, Arnold told the fans in the pub. His bosses may not like what he's saying, but they should be thanking him for actually doing his job. One of my biggest criticisms of the Glazers has always been their refusal to speak directly to the fans. Their refusal to tell us just how they think and to be honest about what their intentions are. To tell us how they are going to fix the mess they've created. When Richard Arnold cursed the £1 billion wasted on signings, he was rightly pointing the finger of blame at Ed Woodward, Matt Judge and the others who've left the club since he took over as our CEO. Richard Arnold was sending out a clear message that this is a new era. He's put football people in charge of making football decisions. At least that's the message he wants to get out to the public. That's the message he wants us all to hear. And that means the buck now stops with John Murtough, who's operating as our director of football. Arnold has promised money is available for our new manager, Erik ten Hag, to sign the players he actually wants. As Arnold said when he was secretly filmed, for this summer the money the manager and director of football wants is there. But is there really enough in the kitty? And do we now have the right guys negotiating? In a delicious dig at Ed Woodward, Arnold told our fans he's not getting involved in trying to sign Frankie de Jong. Money is not a consideration on who we want, Arnold said. The manager wants him and they have actually done the work. He's a great player. Is it 100 or 200? I don't know. Get who you effing want. Even if he did suss he was being filmed, you can't fault his message as he added, do you want me buying the players? Does that not ring a bell? If the manager fails to get the players he wants in this transfer window, Richard Arnold has cleverly done his best to sidestep any personal blame. That's a brilliant move straight out of the playbook for avoiding full responsibility. But let's pass judgment on our transfer activity or inactivity only once the transfer window is actually over. Personally, I see the never-ending speculation about which players we're trying to sign as a smokescreen that deflects our attention from the real issue. The truth is that the affable Richard Arnold has confirmed in his very own words what we all already know. The current owners don't have the money to fix our football club. For the future, for investing in a new stadium and the latest and greatest training ground, we've got to do something, said Arnold. We've got to get investors in. I need that to do what I want for the club. I've got to have more cash now because no club in the world has the money to build a new stadium. You either borrow it or invest it. The money has got to come from somewhere, concluded Arnold. Not only do the Glazers not have the money, they've clearly demonstrated over the past 17 years just how little they know about running a football club. Perhaps things would be nowhere near as bad as they are if Richard Arnold had replaced Ed Woodward many years ago. But the fact remains that the business of Manchester United Football Club is in serious trouble. Sponsors are losing faith in the brand because they only want to back winners. Many anti-Glazer fans will say that's a good thing, but I find it distressing. We've fallen light years behind our biggest rivals Liverpool and Manchester City. Despite spending more on our squad than any other club in Europe, we've got little to show for it out on the pitch. The new manager has a mountain to climb to build a new team that wins trophies. And then there's a stadium and our training facilities that have also failed to keep up with many of our rivals. The only way the current owners can carry on and fix their mess is to pile up more debts or bring in new investment and new sponsors. And that becomes increasingly more difficult when they're killing the golden goose. In my judgment, we've reached the crossroads. It's time for new owners. It's time for the Glazers to hold up their hands and say, enough is enough. We can't fix this. It's time for the Glazers to put the club up for sale and start talking to real football people who will make our football club great again.